Good.
Thank you so much for being on the program tonight. This is exciting. Now, here's how dumb I am. I didn't realize that when you wanted to be in show business, it was going to be as a musician. You are a musician, and that's what you thought you would be, a famous, whatever, musician.
Yeah, since I was about 12.
12 years old. And what is your instruments? You play multiple instruments?
Mostly guitar.
Guitar?
Yeah.
You started in Kentucky, is that where it started?
Yeah. I think it was.
Yeah. And then you went where? Did you go from Kentucky?
South Florida.
South Florida?
Yeah.
And then you went to Hollywood, Los Angeles? And you were going to be a music star?
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah. But you wanted to pursue
I was going to be a guitar player.
Going to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
And where did you see yourself as a guitar player? As like a really good, like a studio guy, a
not
solo actor?
Not particularly good, no.
Not good?
No.
But
I was all right.
But you had never thought about acting?
Never once, no.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look at us now.
Yeah. So, so what was the turning moment? You're out there in California, you have your guitar, and suddenly you're an actor.
Well, the sudden realization of, you know, rent, bills. You know, when that pops into your head, and you realize at some point you'll have to deal with the inevitable.
But, you know, that story often goes the other way.
Yeah.
So, somebody goes out there to be an actor, and suddenly you get no money, so they go to play the guitar to make money. You did it just the opposite.
Weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did somebody get your first gig if you were a guitar player? Because that means you weren't actually out there auditioning.
No, my band moved from Florida to Los Angeles.
What was the name of the band?
At the time, we were called the Kids.
The Kids.
We actually were kids at the time. Yeah.
And so you and the kids are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, literally, you and the kids are out there.
Yeah.
And so then what happens?
You know, did some opening act stuff, that kind of thing, and
Who did you work for?
open up for? We did some good shows back in that time. It was like Billy Idol and you know, guys like that, the Pretenders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ramones.
Yeah. And good gig. So then all of a sudden you're somebody calls and says, "What? I saw you on stage with the kids."
No. No, I was dead broke, you know, and I was filling out job applications at various, well, anything, you know, video stores or coffee joints or whatever. And a friend of mine, who happened to be an actor, Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
Now, how did you?
You've heard of him?
Yes. Yeah. But how did you and Nicolas Cage get to be buddies in those days?
He was just sort of around all the people that I was hanging around with, and we became pals. And he sent me to his agent to, you know, he said, "I think you should try acting." And I met his agent. She sent me to read for something, and they hired me.
What was that? Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, that was Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. Yeah.
Whoa! That's pretty good.
I was about 3 when I did it.
And then later we got a man named Bill Carter, who is well known in Texas music and Southwestern music, or what they call Americana, I guess.
Yeah.
A singer-songwriter. And you met him where? Where did your paths meet?
Bill and I met, Bill and Ruth Carter, his wife, yeah, they're amazing songwriters, and I met them when I was doing Gilbert Grape in Austin.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, we all just hit it off, you know, and so they were my kind of saving grace during that period, because it was a long movie, and so I did the movie, and then I moved in with them for a few months.
Right. That's amazing. Your movies are interesting movies and huge commercial successes. I mean, rarely do you get that combination consistently.
It's got nothing to do with me, I don't think.
No. I could have done any of those films. And I wish I had, frankly. We'll be right back with Johnny Depp. Depp is here. I can't thank you enough for being here. It's a nice night for us, and I hope it's for you as well, because you're here with your friend, and we're going to hear some music later.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about The Lone Ranger. Oh, I'm so excited for this movie. This is excellent, and you're not the Lone Ranger.
I'm not.
You're his faithful companion, Tonto.
I play Tonto.
Yeah. Do you mind if I just show these?
Oh, sure.
These are great. And the Lone Ranger is, of course, who's the Lone?
Army Hammer, yeah.
And that's you.
He's terrific, yeah. He's great.
Now, as I recall, the beginning of the genesis of the Lone Ranger it comes from a dark story, and is that the tone of your film?
Pretty much, yeah. It comes from a very dark backstory, and then he becomes the Lone Ranger through Tonto's guidance.
Did this mean anything to you when you were a kid? Maybe after the radio broadcast, but it was a TV show as well. Yeah. Did you like the Lone Ranger in those days?
I did. I liked watching the series. I was always somewhat confused about Tonto's position. I always thought, well, why does Tonto go and have to do this? And why is he sending the Indian off to go?
Right. And is that different in this movie?
Oh, very
different. Yeah.
Very different.
This looks like a painting. This looks like a Charles Russell rendering, doesn't it? That's fantastic. You look. You look like you know what you're doing on a horse.
Yeah, I don't. That was probably about 2.5 seconds before everything went very sideways.
But I'm telling you, I mean, forget the movie. I'd pay $10 just to look at this picture. No, but you ride. You don't ride?
I have no. I've ridden quite a lot in various movies and stuff. And you know, growing up in Kentucky, you grow up around horses and everything. But every horse is different.
Sure.
You know, so
yeah. So you had to ride that horse at top speed?
Quite a lot, yeah.
How did that go?
Went pretty well up until a point. Yeah. There was one moment in particular where it got unpleasant, where the horses had been running. We'd been running them all day, so they weren't really interested in slowing down at all. So we went to we were shooting in a different place in the desert where there's these, you know, there are little bumps and things growing, and so my horse that I was on decided to jump a couple of these little obstacles. Horse was unaware that the saddle I was wearing to sit on top of it was sort of jerry-rigged, kind of faked.
It was to give the effect that you were riding bareback the horse.
To give the effect that I'm riding bareback. So basically, it's not really tight on the horse. It's just enough to.
Yeah, just a little tissue there for you to sit on.
Essentially, yeah. A Band-Aid. And so yeah, when we came down, I went to the saddle slipped, you know, and I went to the left and had the reins here, and somehow had the wherewithal to grab the mane of the horse. And then the next thing I saw, all very calm for some reason. I figured that fear would kick in, but it didn't. I was waiting. All I saw were in front of my eyes were these very muscular horse legs, and the striations of muscles moving, you know. It's kind of death machine. And one word popped into my head: hooves.
Hooves.
You know? Hooves.
Hooves.
In any case, hooves.
Yeah.
Mind the hooves.
So, what do you do when you're in that position?
Well, you make a decision.
Yeah.
Will I go with the beast until someone wrangles it?
Yeah.
Or will I drop? You know, it's a crapshoot.
Sure. And what did you choose?
I dropped.
You dropped. Now, when you... I mean, you know, we're being silly about this, but you really could have been seriously injured, if not killed.
Horrifically mangled, at the very least.
Yes. Yeah. You landed on your back. Did you get stepped on?
I landed on my back. You know, hit the deck pretty hard, and the one thing that saved me was the horse's instinct to lift his front legs, and go over me.
Stepped over you.
Stepped over me. Had he not,
God,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
coming straight down into the head.
Yeah. Broken ribs, strains, bruises, anything?
No, he just kind of clipped me with his back leg, so it was just a little sore.
Just kind of clipped you with his back leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good horse will do that. Oh my God. But honest to God, where are the stunt people, for heaven's sakes? You're Tonto.
Yeah.
You don't need that. Well,
It's the exact same question I asked.
yes. I can't wait for this film. Now, when we come back, your friend Bill Carter will be here.
Wonderful.
We'll talk more about Bill and the music we're going to hear later. Johnny Depp is here. We'll be right back, everybody.